Okay, so I would say that's successful. Maybe we'll try that again on this next go around. Bring that up a little bit more. So I'm getting ready to move into our concentrator, and I've got a few things first of all, I'd like to introduce Cam Schultz. She's going to be our speaker today. She's a transplanted Midwestern farm girl. She got her start in business by serving as a bill collector for her parents' small town publishing company. I didn't know that about you, Cam. That's awesome. She's now in her 14th year of creating branded apparel and logo products to the San Diego business community. If you need any company apparel with your logo on it, there is no better help, and that I can attest to for myself. In part, on her diverse background, she currently owns both B2B and B2C companies. Fully Promoted is considered both a manufacturing and a marketing company and markets B2B since 2007. She also has a pet mobile grooming service, which applies a completely different perspective of needs and wants and constraints of business owners. This company markets B2C, business to consumer, since 2002. In the past, she has founded a nonprofit to do contract engineering work. She's a well-rounded young lady, bootstrapped by engineering consulting firm in a technology incubator environment. She's been on the staff at a university managing contracts and developing and software development. She's worked with nonprofits on fundraising, volunteer recruitment, promoting healthy habits to young locals, and bringing digital media into the classroom. So you can see why she succeeds in our social media here. She's worked for the US government doing testing for the US Geological Survey and has worked with contractors doing soil and asphalt testing. With this smorgasbord of business experience to draw upon, she knows how important it is for a company to have great suppliers that they can depend on. And she strives to be that go-to person for her customers. And those of you that have worked with Cam know that this is true. She can just really go to the ends of the earth to find what it is that you need, even when you don't know what that is. So without any further ado, I'd like to introduce Cam Schultz from Fully Promoted San Diego.
Okay, I am going to share my screen, I hope. There we are. And I will put up my slideshow. Let's see if that's going to work for me today. There we go. Okay, everybody see me? Anybody see me?
Yes, we do.
Okay, here we are. I've got my slideshow. I love Zoom for the show and tell capability because I know not everybody's made it to my showroom. So I'm going to do a little bit of a mini tour of my showroom and workshop on Balboa Avenue and see if I can give you a little kind of behind the scenes peek at what's interesting that's happened with us during the whole COVID process, because that has been a ride. All right, let me see if going to advance my slide. There we go. So if you haven't been to my store, the outside this is what you see when you pull up. I'm on the ground floor of the Balboa office building. So it's a 3-story office building that has retail space on the bottom. And we have these fantastic 1960s signs that I'm hoping someday Ron will get the contract to change for us. But the sign there that says Embroid Me over the door is because our name started out as Embroid Me, however many years, 14 years ago when we opened, because we were primarily an embroidery business. And we just kept getting asked, can you do this? Can you do that? And we ended up becoming a put your logo on stuff business. And several years ago, ended up deciding to change the name as a result. And so we're now Fully Promoted. And I operate under both DBAs, and we've just been around so long as Embroid Me that I use both of those names. And I'm sorry, I should have, pardon my not excellent video quality here, but I wanted to give you that experience of walking through our door and into the showroom. One of the things that's a little different about us is that we do have a showroom that has quite a bit of our samples and shows off what we do. So more so in times not COVID, but you can get the idea that we specialize in apparel. We do all kinds of logo products, but we really are specialists in the apparel, and that's where we started out. I think that's going to stop scrolling here in just a sec. There we are. So you just walked through the door and had a quick view of our showroom. There it is again. And you can see it's like we've got a lot of apparel in there, and there are way more choices than what we have here. So we do a lot of work with people to figure out what's the right type of apparel, what's the right style, what kind of properties, what kind of fabric, how are you going to use it, and then sampling out, okay, let's make sure that touch and feel this is the right thing for you. And then of course, all the logo products. We are essentially you bring us your logo and we'll put it on stuff, all kinds of stuff place. And that's why a graphic designer would be a great partner for a great referral partner for me. So if you happen to know a graphic designer that works a lot with businesses, that would be a great person to recruit to the group for us. All right, this picture was pre-COVID. So you can see it's like we're all sitting pretty close to each other without any space. But what I wanted to show was all the computers that are here, because even though we are a local manufacturer and we do a lot of decorating in our shop way in the back there, we also do a lot of sourcing of products that we decorate nationwide and even international. So we spend a lot of time, we've got live inventory on warehouses all over the country. And right now that's been a big help because t-shirts and sweatshirts are in very short supply due to the COVID situation, because all those apparel manufacturers diverted to make masks a year ago, and the supply lines are not filled back up. So right now it's really a challenge to do t-shirts, and we've got our secret factory that we're pulling from, and we're still filling t-shirt orders like crazy. We do have over 1 million products that we can put your logo on, and we discover more every day. I discovered that we do cornhole boards. Thank you, Duncan. If you can think of it, we probably can put your logo on it. We do have custom abilities. So if you've invented a widget and you would like to have a stress reliever, or if you need to have a bobblehead made of your character or whatever, we can do those custom sorts of jobs. That's generally not a small business type of project, but we have that capability. I am a licensed California garment manufacturer. There's a license that I have to maintain. That doesn't mean we cut and sew our shirts. What that covers is us decorating the apparel that we source nationwide. I do have affiliations with the relevant associations in our industry, the PPAI and ASI. That's those contacts are what let us source all of those 1 million products. And we have an in-house weekly production capability of about 500 to 1,000 pieces of embroidery and or t-shirt printing. So that gives you a little bit, and that's a picture of me in front of our embroidery machines that are tucked away in the back behind that stack of boxes back there. So back to the showroom. If you kind of look around our showroom, you'll see these little mini vignettes that speak to the vertical markets that we work in. And probably the number one before COVID and now is contractors. We do a lot of work for contractors. So all your contractor friends, please share the word about us with them. You think of contractors and you think of all the t-shirts that they make for their crew and use for those folks, but we do a lot more than that. Not only do we do polo shirts for the sales staff, but just all kinds of, we've got flannel shirts, and this is a canvas type vest. We do work gloves, contractor pencils, the construction plans that you see there, it's a gift. That's actually a tube of cookies that's decorated to look like contractor plans. And there's just all kinds of things. Labels, those are the porta potty there and the hard hats. Those are actually stress relievers. all kinds of promo products. And sometimes it's a matter of the decoration and how you decorate it that makes it suitable for that industry. We do a fair amount with automotive companies, but military and first responder, we kind of lump those all together. Just really enjoy working with those folks, and it just always seems to go over really well with our customers when we say, yeah, it's like I work with CHP, and they walk in our store and see the CHP jacket and the San Diego police jacket and Cal Fire. We did some nice jobs with NASCO a couple years ago, and we do a lot of embroidered patches too. And then the morale, welfare, and rec committees of all the different military units, and then command hats. So that's fun work. I really enjoy it because the artwork tends to be really detailed, and we can show off a little bit. But just know that it's also, I think, a confidence builder with our clients that we're working with those types of customers as well. For healthcare, we do a fair amount of healthcare. We're not the type of company that goes into the hospital and does the entire scrub program, but what we work a lot with dentist's office and doctor's offices for their local office gear, lab coats and scrubs and so forth. But what we do with the hospitals is almost all the nursing units like to have their own jacket. And we also work a lot with Balboa, the Naval Medical Hospital, the surgeons there, they all have their own jackets. So the units have a logo, and it's cold in there for infection control, and they all wear those jackets with our embroidery on them. So if you know somebody looking for that kind of thing, thought I would talk for a second about what kind of referrals really work well for us. Like I mentioned, we've kind of followed the COVID economy before, and now we do a lot of work with contractors and just anybody who's servicing the home or the needs for the home. Construction companies and plumbers and landscapers, pest control, all those types of companies, anything that's going out to the house is just booming and make a great referral for us. And also anybody who's in that essential service industry. We work really well with computing and IT professionals, with professionals of all types, really. Banking, finance, attorneys, engineers, and janitorial. Those folks are busy and they need our help, and we're here to help them. So we try and think of folks for us. That's the kind of people that tend to really appreciate our services. Let me talk for a minute more about what kind of things we actually sell, because when I say it's a million products, it's still pretty nebulous for a lot of people. And I like this picture because it's everything that we do. These guys are at a trade show that's not happening so much these days, but it's still a great illustration. They're wearing their company shirts, they've got embroidery, they've got lanyards, they've got their name on the company name on the lanyards, they're at an event, they're handing out all kinds of stuff that have their company logo on. We do all of that. We're very much, it's that idea of, you've got this great logo, what would you like to have it put on? That's what we do. So we are a primarily B2B type of business selling promotional marketing products. We do specialize in the apparel again. So probably our number one thing that we do is shirts, 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 shirts. We put logos on t-shirts and polo shirts and sweatshirts and dress shirts, and any kind of shirt you can think of. And mostly people source these shirts through us, but you can also bring in your own if you already had them or they fell off a truck or whatever. Caps and jackets are other large categories of branded apparel that we do a lot of in our local store. And then there's everything else. And that everything else is, there's a big everything there. This is where the pens and the lanyards and the bags and the blankets and my cup, and we even do toys, little teddy bears and stuffed dogs and tech gifts, all those kind of things that you used to be able to like walk through a trade show and pick up. We do all that, and they're still being used. I'm going to show you first what's popular, and then I'll show you how they're being used right now. What's popular can be measured several different ways. And what this chart is showing is, what are people using? And I'm really a big believer of make sure you're investing. If you're going to spend on this type of product, please make sure that you're investing in something that's the best version of whatever it is you want to hand out, and that it's something that people are going to use. Because I'm sure we've all had that experience of you walk through the trade show and you got your bag of swag you picked up after you talked to everybody, and you go back to your hotel room and you go through it and you throw at least 50%, if not more, of it in the trash. So all that stuff that isn't worth keeping wasn't a good investment. However, if you've got that type of product that people do like to use in your customers' hands, it works fantastically to keep your name in front of them, top of mind, in a very non-intrusive way. So what's popular? This is what people are actually using. The #1 category is pens. Almost everybody has some kind of promotional pen, and probably quite a few. And #2 behind pens is drinkware, some kind of coffee cup or mug, because everybody uses those. And if you get a good one, people will really like it. And then notice that 4 out of the top 7 categories are different kinds of branded apparel, which is really our sweet spot. So those t-shirts, the caps, the jackets, the polos, that's really where we shine. And then bags is another really popular category. So if you're wondering what to give, don't feel like, oh, everybody has a bag. It's like, well, make sure that yours is the good bag, the best bag, the most beautiful bag, the one that people like for some reason, and will help you find the right one. So this, yeah, we're meant to be fuzzy there. Okay, so this is another way of looking at it. And this is actually, I'm going to play this video and it's going to show you what happened to my industry during times of COVID. Because we started out, this is the search volume for different types of promotional products. So this is another measure of the popularity of types of promotional products that you can put your logo on. And when we start out, this is January of last year, pens, #1, tote bags, #2, water bottle, lanyards, mugs. Oh my gosh, what happened? Sanitizer, hand sanitizer, that's in March. All of a sudden, everybody needs hand sanitizer. And now face masks. All anybody wants to hear about is face masks and hand sanitizer as of May and June. So we weren't really doing a lot. Pens is still hanging in there a little bit, but yet not anything compared to face masks, masks, hand sanitizers. This whole new category called neck gaiters showed up. And face masks are we're still doing a lot of those. But look, now in September, October, mugs are coming back, pens are coming back. We had a bump in blankets around the holidays, but now here come pens and mugs. I feel like I'm calling a horse race. Mugs and pens are coming up on the outside, and pens are now back in the lead. And that was, see if I can move to my next slide. Oops. And that was as of the end of the year, around beginning of January, pens are back. And mugs and drinkware are also big. Let me see if I can move to the next slide. Yep. And it's because people have figured out that mugs are generally given to one person. They don't get passed around, so they're clean. Pens, everybody's still sanitizing pens, but once you give them to somebody, they take it with you and they're still working. So pens and mugs right now are really good promotional products, other than face masks, if you're tired of doing face masks, because everybody's still handing out face masks like crazy. But in short, we have over 1 million products. And that little horse race there sort of gave you a sense of, you know, how sometimes things change, but they come right back to where they were. And that's where we are. It's like, I get to ask my clients, are you fully promoted? And we have all these ways to help you get there. So all these ways, embroidery, t-shirts, promos, screen printing, we put your logo on things, and we walk our clients through, because there are so many options, that we help people find the right things based on not only what they want and what they need, but also the timetable they have available to work with, because sometimes that's a constraint. And obviously we've got some type of budget constraint to work with. So we take that into consideration and help people figure out the very best version of what they want to give that makes sense for them, because I can tell you that not all fill in the blank here, but in this example, bottles, not all are created equal. And there are some that I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. I've seen drinkware that you put it in the dishwasher and the color comes off. It's not pretty. So that's part of what we do with all that sourcing across the country and checking in with all these factories and all the different warehouses, is we're checking to make sure that to the best of our ability and the best of our collective knowledge, that the products that we're using are the best quality available. So that's my presentation. And if I could thank you for concentrating in advance, what we would request for that is if you just help me by refreshing our online reviews. So you can find us on Google, on Yelp, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on the BBB listing. If you could locate our store, we are the one on Balboa Avenue. There are a couple of other fully promoted and embroidered me's in the San Diego area. So if you would just double check and make sure that you found my store on Balboa, I would greatly appreciate it. And thank you very much in advance.